Welcome, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to this very first episode of the Millionaire Connection podcast. Today, I'm joined by someone who's not only deeply experienced in the world of personal growth, but who is truly living and breathing transformation. I'm talking about no one less than Jurgen Roos. Jurgen has attended around 15 Tony Robbins events, including Mastery University, Date with Destiny, and the Full Leadership Mastery Program. He's also been to the Millionaire Mind intensive events, and he now serves as a senior leader within the Tony Robbins community. Jurgen, welcome.
Wow, what an introduction. And thank you very much, brother. I truly
Yeah,
appreciate it.
really happy to have you over. So, you've immersed yourself in this work for many years now, and yeah, you've been to so many transformational events, and yet you keep going back. What is it that keeps you drawing in again and again?
Well, the reason I go to events like these are always three things. First one is the energy, because especially in in-person events, it's absolutely electric. The second one is the content, because the guys on stage and the girls on stage, they have sometimes 50 to 70 years experience and they are the best in what they do. So if I can be a sponge and absorb this information, it's absolutely brilliant. And the third one is the connections because you are surrounded by like-minded people with big hearts and I want to connect with as many as possible.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I think a lot of people can relate to that feeling. You really walk out of an event absolutely buzzing with energy, full of clarity, and you're really convinced that life will never be the same again. But then you come back home and real life kicks in. So, yeah, tell me, what usually happens to people once that initial high wears off and they return to their daily routines?
Well, I remember my first Unleash the Power Within. I felt on top of the world, like unstoppable, and a lot of listeners probably can relate. Um, yeah, like everything finally makes sense. And I've been in this environment for over 5 years, and after Unleash the Power Within or Millionaire Mind Intensive or any event like that, um, but people the people I see, they are struggling just like me with keeping the momentum going.
Right, yeah. And it's almost like the energy fades once you leave that environment. You go from being surrounded by thousands of people who all believe in possibility back to your normal setting where nobody actually really gets what you just experienced. So when that reality hits, what does that do to someone's motivation and consistency?
Well, exactly. I used to think just understanding a course or a seminar was enough, but it's not. You actually need to apply it. You need to take action. Because if you want to change your life, you need to change what you do. And if you haven't made it crystal clear what you want to apply or what you want to change, it becomes really hard to put into practice once you're back in your normal life.
Yeah, that makes actually perfect sense. But I want to dig a little bit deeper here. Why is it so hard for people to actually make those changes stick? We know what to do, we've heard all the right principles, and yet most people end up falling back into old habits. What's going on, psycho, yeah, in your mind or practically that makes transformation so difficult to sustain?
Well, what happens when you come home? There are simply a lot of things that require your attention, like work, friends, maybe family members, hobbies. If you have kids, well, that can be a handful. And we are just not built for change. We are creatures of habits. So our subconscious mind doesn't like change. It's just built for survival, not for happiness or for growth. So it wants to keep things as predictable and as safe as possible.
Interesting. So, if someone truly wants to create a different life, what actually needs to happen on a practical level? How do you go from knowing something to actually living it every single day?
Well, you need to change the things you do. But if you haven't made it crystal clear what you want to apply or what you want to change, it becomes very hard to actually implement it. Because once you're home, there are simply so many things that demand your attention. You've gone through the event, you've learned, you've changed, but the people at home, they haven't. Your colleagues haven't. So they see you as different, or sometimes even as weird. And they want to they want you to stay the same. So basically, you have three forces now pushing you back into your old patterns. That's time, that's your subconscious mind, and that's the people around you.
Exactly, yeah. And that's where most people probably get stuck because the world around them hasn't changed. You come back home inspired and different, but your environment is still the same. Your friends, colleagues, family, they remember the old you. So how do you deal with that resistance when everything around you seems to pull you back to your old patterns?
Well, change is hard, isn't it? We've all experienced it. And first of all, you need a reason to change. You need to really feel the important and be connected with that. Let's say you have a heart attack, and the doctor says your next cigarette will kill you. You probably will quit in that moment. So, having a strong reason is the first thing. The second thing is think of yourself like, let's say, a small tree. You're still growing, you're still fragile. You're not strong enough to withstand every storm. That's why you need an environment that supports you, that protects you. And the third thing is you need a clear plan. When things get tough, and they will at times, that you can fall back on.
Yeah, I really love that. And it's actually true, right? Having a strong why, protecting your environment, and having a clear plan sounds like the foundation for lasting change, indeed. But let's be honest. What about those moments when people start doubting themselves? When loved ones push back, or when you hit that inevitable dip in motivation? How do you push through without losing your momentum?
At first, your optimism is weaker than their pessimism. They push back, your energy dips, and eventually you might even start to wonder, is it all worth it? And that's normal. But if you stay consistent and you nurture yourself and protect your energy, change becomes possible. And over time, you grow stronger. You don't, and that's another thing I want to point out, you don't have to share everything with everybody. Yeah? If you think people are not supportive about your plans, by all means, only share it with the people that are supportive.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. So, if someone just attended an event like UPW or MMI and they're thinking, okay, this time I really want to make it stick, where should they start? What's the right mindset or strategy to actually turn that inspiration into long-term transformation?
Well, that's actually a great question. And there are a few ways to go. Creating lasting change means you have to change not only the inside, but also the outside.
Inside and the outside. Can you unpack that a bit more? What exactly does that look like in real life?
Well, the inside is your beliefs about yourself, about what's possible, the stories you've created about yourself, the things that happened in the past, but also your values, your rules. They all need to change in order to make lasting change. And the outside, well, I already mentioned it a little. Um, Changing your outside means maybe adding new friends that support you or creating an accountability group.
Yeah, that's powerful. Yeah, it raises an interesting question, by the way. Do you believe people need to make radical, dramatic changes to reinvent their life? Or is it more about small, steady adjustments that compound over time?
Well, I love big changes because they're, yes, great, but they seldom last. And in my opinion, the best way to go is to make these little changes, but consistently. So consistency is key here. And if you are consistent and After a while, you can build on top of that. And that's always what I say, like start and end the day your way. So morning and evening routines are the best anchor points. They bring your energy up by doing breath exercises or gratitude exercise or physical exercises. Even if it's just 3 minutes, it's all about consistency and it stacks over time. And of course, being a part of a community with like-minded people and having an accountability group is very, very important.
Yeah, accountability groups, indeed. You brought you brought up accountability groups several times now, and I think this is such a crucial piece. Can you explain to our listeners why these groups are so powerful and what really makes the difference between a group that fizzles out and one that truly helps people grow?
Absolutely. Well, Tony Robbins always says proximity is power. Who you surround yourself with is who you become. And if you spend your time with positive, ambitious people, it challenges you. And that really works. You get support, accountability, and inspiration, and you just want people around you that uplift you, that see possibilities, that help you learn from challenges, and they understand your journey because they walk similar paths and they show you what's possible. And being with each other, you can copy their behavior.
So it's not just about surrounding yourself with people, it's about choosing the right people. So the people who bring out the best and out of you and challenge you to rise. That kind of environment can literally change the course of your life, right?
Exactly. The right people inspire you by their achievements. If they can do it, so can you. Everyone's win is always a win for everyone. And because you're a team, you're really a team. And I can truly say I've made the best friends through groups like these because the bonds are incredible. And these are the people who really understand your struggles. They nourish your soul and they help keep you growing.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful perspective, Jurgen. If you could leave your listeners with just one takeaway, one principle they can hold on to whenever life feels overwhelming or they start to lose focus, what would that be?
I would say change is possible, but it requires a strong why. It requires consistency and the right environment. Also, an accountability group can be part of that. Um, and of course, having a clear plan. So, if there's one thing you take from this podcast, I would say it's change your habits, change your environment, and you will change your life.
Wow, that's such a powerful way to end, Jurgen. I really want to thank you so much for sharing your experience, your wisdom, and your honesty with us today.
You are more than welcome, brother. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So yeah, to everyone listening, if you've ever come home from an event feeling inspired but unsure how to keep the fire alive, please remember it starts with your habits, your environment, and your people. In our next episode, we will dive deeper into how to actually build and sustain accountability group that drives real transformation. So if you want to know more about that, please stay tuned for that. And yeah, as always, if you're facing challenges or have questions about today's topic, please reach out to me or Jurgen. We'd love to hear your story and see how we can help you move forward. So see you next time. Cheers. Bye bye.